Diary, good evening. It's 11 p.m. on Sunday, January the 27th, and I'm going to describe our lighting strategy for the 160-kilometre ultramarathon known as the Arc of Attrition, which Marcus and Agatha will be attempting in quite a lot less than 7 days. So the background is this is an extremely tough ultramarathon, one of the toughest. Not just in the UK, but I think in the world, especially so because of the horrible weather conditions that are anticipated in February of each year on the Cornish coast. Now the competition starts on Friday at 12 noon, and we have a maximum of 36 hours to cover the distance. So this video is really a discussion of the lighting technology that we intend to use to make it all work. So, with reference to the diagram, I've looked at the sunset and sunrise times, and the sunrise is at 5 p.m. and the sunset is at 5 p.m. Sunrise is at 8 p.m. which 8 a.m. which means that on the first day we've got from 12 till 5 running in daylight, and then from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. which is 15 hours of running in the night, and a 7-hour period on the following day. Obviously, if we're quicker, we hope to be quicker, we will experience less night running, but we're planning for worst case, of course. Now, as good engineers, we've made lots of measurements and weights and tests. In fact, in the last week, I've run, I think it's 162 kilometres, predominantly in the dark. I would say mostly in the cold and wet as well. So that's all been good testing of the light strategy, and I think we have something that works. So what is that? What is that working strategy? Well, let's first of all talk about the secondary light. This is the primary Petzl Now light that I will be using. Well, let's just talk about the disposable light. So the race competitions are that you need to have 2 lights and spare batteries for each light. So this is a entry-level Petzl Tikina light. It's over 100 lumens, but we don't expect either of us expect to use it at all unless there's some sort of dire emergency. That could be something stupid like we're standing by a cliff edge or running by a cliff edge, a gust of wind blows the lamp from our head, but miraculously it doesn't blow us away, but just the lamp. So technically we're taking a second lamp, but we don't ever expect to need to use it, but we do need to take it for race regs. So that's an 80-gram lamp, measured at 80 grams. The main lamp I will be using is a Petzl Now lamp. Now Petzl Now is probably the leading trail running lamp. It's a rechargeable lamp. There's a canister here that comes off with a standard USB Type A connector that plugs into any charging source, and the latest ones have Bluetooth connectivity to your smartphone and a red lamp at the back here. Mine's a Generation 1 lamp, so it doesn't have that. Now, contrary to popular opinion, we don't have infinite funds, so we've chosen not to buy any more lighting technology. I mean, if we did have the money, we would have bought all new lights, including the new Petzl Now and a new Petzl Mayo, but you know, we don't want to go down that route. So we're making reference to perhaps what you could buy if you want to update this configuration, should you be doing a similar run. So the main lamp that I'll be using is a Petzl Now. It's got this lamp here. They sell not the battery, but the battery and this special case separately. So I have such a combination there. And that is an 85-gram unit. Okay. Alternatively, I have some of the raw batteries. They're 50 grams each. There's Generation 1 and Generation 2. Now Petzl don't technically sell the Generation 2 battery for the first generation lamp, but I have got it to work. I've done a previous article on it. I'll link it in this article so you can refer back to it. But basically you can buy the second generation batteries and put them into the first generation housing and everything will work fine. What I found hasn't worked fine is the configuration of the lamp, which I never took too much care to understand, but I have really in depth looked at it, and it basically, for reasons I can't understand, I've got two lamps, neither of them work. They both work identically. So let me explain. So this is a lamp here. This plugs into your PC, and believe it or not, via a PC program, you actually configure the actual lens power and which lens you're going to use. There's actually two different lenses here, and you can configure the short range and the long range beam individually. So you can say I want to have 10% of the short range beam power, and I want to have 100% of the long range, and that will give you a certain battery time. Now, unfortunately, what seems to happen is I've configured it, and I basically get 3 hours of incredibly bright light, followed by probably the setting that I asked for, which is I wanted the lamp battery to last at least 6 hours. So it doesn't seem to work. What I do get is 3 hours. So the overall strategy is to have 4 batteries, which will give me 12 hours of guaranteed super bright light, plus another 12 hours, because each lamp and battery lasts about 6 hours at least. But the last 3 hours are rather dim. So I've got 12 hours of ultra bright light, plus another 12 hours of moderate light, and that gets me my 15 hours. So that's part one. We're not an assisted entry, which means to say we don't have, we would love to have, but unfortunately we don't have anyone who's prepared to drive around the course on the roads and pop up in the different places and say, hey, here's some more lights, hey, here's some more food. So we have to take everything with us, and hence why weight is absolutely critical. But what we can do is at the halfway point, we can stash a bag, and at that point we can replenish our supplies of lights, food, and so forth. So at the halfway point, I'm swapping lamps to a Petzl Ticket R XP, which is now known as an Actic lamp here, and the Actic lamps are 107 grams. I've also got a rechargeable unit, that's 50 grams, and I'm also going to be taking several AAA batteries, enough to give me easily the 7 hours that I'm going to need. So that's Marcus's strategy for the second half. Meanwhile, Agata has got a Petzl Mio, MYO, that's a 170 gram lamp, which only has dry cells. It doesn't have any rechargeables, which I'm going to discuss as an advantage, in fact. So normally, if you're in a moderately long competition, you're going to have enough lamp power based on the Petzl now to finish the race, even if it's a say 6 or 9 hour race. This is an exceptionally long race, and as such the standard rules don't seem to apply, but the energy density of an alkaline battery is certainly higher than a rechargeable. So in fact she's got an advantage, because this takes 3 AA batteries, and with enough spare sets of AA batteries she can easily make the 15 hours. So the plan is for Agata to run with this lamp, make the 15 hours using as many swaps of these batteries as is necessary. When we get to the halfway point, we've got the stash of replacement items. We change the batteries in here for a new set, and for good measure we take another set of these AA's for her, and so she's easily going to make her 7 hours. So there's a 170 gram lamp, 3 batteries are 66 grams. So how does that look in terms of weight? Because again, weight is just super critical here. Well, the bad news of Marcus is that I will have by far the most bonkersly powerful Petzl headlamp, now lamp, which really is stunningly bright. You can get between 50 and 100 meters worth of forward light. So I've got the Petzl lamp, I've got the case including the battery and 2 raw batteries, which comes including the throwaway lamp to just 465 grams plus my 20 grams of red lamp. So basically I've got 500 grams, which is pretty heavy. At the halfway point things get a bit better, because I'm then down to 220 grams plus 80, which is 300 plus 20, so I'm down to 320. So I'll be tired at the halfway point. I'll go, oh great, I can get rid of this big heavy old lamp and I can swap it for the lighter lamp. So the second half to me is going to be plain sailing. Meanwhile, Agatha has got the same lamp throughout. She's got 240 grams plus 80, so she's got 320 grams plus 20, so she's got 340 grams. So she's considerably lighter, and that's thanks to the fact that she's using the alkaline dry cells. Obviously, always have a backup to a backup. We have got the Anchor power brick, which is currently going to be used, subject of another video, for charging our watches, and that's its primary purpose. There's also a swap at the halfway point for that. So here's a Garmin watch with maps. This is going to be plugged into here as necessary whilst we're running to charge. But the backup strategy is that it could charge the petrol now from that port there. I wouldn't want to do it because it will just flatten it, and we won't be able to use this for watch charging. But if you're running in the dark and you're running out of batteries, then you might need to use it. But that's very, very unlikely. That's not part of the plan. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you're all convinced as much as I am that we do have enough lighting power for our adventure, which is in just over 4 days. Thanks very much for watching, Dari.